Yes, ma'am.
On the practice test, F, it asks what the percentage of the data is within one standard deviation.
All right, let's do that. So this is kind of a small set of data, but still, I think one step maybe will be okay. In fact, I can see it will be. So I'm going to ask this question, and the reason I ask this question is because it relates to some theorems we talk about later. Some of us have heard about them, but they're called... Oh my gosh. They're called empirical rule and Chebyshev's theorem. They're in our future. So, the question here would be, what percentage of the data is within one standard deviation of the mean? So this kind of gives away how to set it up within one standard deviation of the mean. So what can I set up visually for myself? What do I put in the middle? 9. I like it. And what's one step up from that? 13.062. I like it. And what's one step down from that? 4.938. What's 9 minus 4? Minus a little bit more is now going to be 4.7. How many data points did I catch? Did I catch the number 4? No. Did I catch the number 7? Yes. I definitely got 9. I had that from the beginning. 10? 15? No. So how many did I catch? Out of? So what percentage? 60%. Whew. That's how you work that out. What percentage is within one step of the mean? Well, first you got to do is, what the hell is within one step of the mean? And I call that like throwing a net out, trying to catch a certain fish. If I said within 2 steps, now I'm throwing out a bigger net, I'm going to catch more freaking fish. So my percentage would go up then, wouldn't it? Does that sort of make sense? I don't fish. Just I don't even like to eat fish, to be honest. But I like, it's because it tastes bad, that's all. I like the analogy still of throwing a fish net out. The larger the fish net, the more fish I'm going to catch. So if I only go one step out, I might not catch anything, to be honest. If my data is really, really far apart, I go one step up and down, I might not catch any of the data points. But if I go 2 steps, I'm definitely going to catch some data points. Okay. Maybe. Do you have to really understand everything I just said? No. You have to be able to do this. And then I got 3 out of 5 data points. That's 60%. I caught 60% of the data because there were 3 data points in there out of 5.
If there's a question like that on the test, can you say 60% or do you need a complete sentence?
Oh, no. This is just fact. Yep. All right. And again, hopefully everybody got that handout with that worked out standard deviation problem on it. I can ask any of those kind of questions that were on there. Yeah.
Is stem leaf plot going to be on the test?
Yes. So everybody got what they want from this here? Let me give you a different kind. Let's see here. I've had this data here.
What's this one called?
Stem and leaf. Yeah. I like this problem. Obviously, obviously, the stem can't be 1. That don't do shit. What you want a stem and leaf plot to do is kind of like show you how things fall. If I just make 1 and then just put it as a list of all the data, that helped me out a lot, thank you. So what do I want my stems to be in this slightly weird example? Yeah, 1.6, 1.7. Let me put one more data point here. 2.5. 1.13. All right. So let's see, 1.8, right? And then? No, 1.9, 2.0, 2.1. You still got to show that there are empty slots. Otherwise, you're being dishonest. This is supposed to be a quick way to see how things are distributed. So if I leave out empty spots, I'm making them look closer than they really are. So I want to make that point, because there was a problem like that in the homework or somewhere. So then, what would I put here?
1, 2, 5.
Yeah, 1, 2, 5, 7, 9. I like it. It takes her all 1, 6 is 1.7, 2, 1.8, 1, 4, 6, and then 2.13. I like it. So then you say P 1.61 means 1.61. You could even have put 16, 17, 18, but then in your key you would say 16-1 means 1.61. As long as you tell people how to read it, you got some flexibility in how to set it up. How are we doing there? Is that all right? Yes, sir.
Are you going to be requiring keys from now on?
Yes. Yeah, I can't remember if I made a big point of that, but the key needs to be there. It's a good thing to know, right? Because I think the book leaves that slightly important thing out. And so did I a little bit. But you have to tell somebody, because, like I said before, I thought I said this, that could mean 17, it could mean 1.7, it could mean 107, it could mean 0.17. You got to tell me what you meant, right? So if I had a bunch of data that was like 0.0017, 0.0029, I'm like, I don't want to write 0.0017 means 0.0017. Bam. See, I got some flexibility as long as I tell people how to read it. Good. I like it. All right, let me do this. Let me give you guys, hopefully, that would be nice. Oh, thank God. I didn't want to finish that sentence until I actually knew I had them. Let me give you the answer key. I meant to ask you, did you get an email about that workshop, or did you? Yes. You got an email? Okay. So you guys are getting emails about math workshops, right? Okay, good. I wasn't sure if they were still doing that or not. I was like, shit. Hopefully.
Where is it that we go to get our estimators and just have
In the math study center? Guys, has anybody successfully had their graphic calculator updated to the new software in the Math Study Center? Anybody try that out yet? I keep forgetting to make sure they still do that, but they were doing that last semester or something. If you have the older version where the square root symbol doesn't grow as you put more stuff in it, that's the newer version of the software for your TI calculator. I'm pretty sure they can do that in the Math Study Center for you, if you go ask.
That's the one that goes up.
No, that's the one downstairs. $71.12. All right, guys, so let me just say this. If you haven't tried the practice test out, you guys, be really careful about this. Do not sit there and stare at my practice test answer key and go, yeah. Yeah. You know, that's going to make false confidence. I would have done that. No, that's bad. right? So either do the practice test and then check it with this, or never look at this. It's not going to do you any good unless you actually try it yourself first and then look at this, right? Let me know if you think I made any mistakes. I am only human. I'm averaging about a 97 on my answer keys. I think it's pretty good. All right, so I'm passing. Yes, sir.
For 1C, when you ask if it's normal distribution, is that the answer you want, roughly normal?
Yeah. You could argue that it's not because it's not perfectly symmetric. But that is roughly normal. What does it take for something to be roughly normal? It's got to start low, go high, go back low. So the histogram I drew for that one ended up being roughly normal. If I had one that looked like this, what do you think? That looks like I'm flicking you off. I'm sorry. No, just 7 fingers now. Would you say that's normal or not? Yeah, I'd say it's not. I could see somebody arguing roughly, but it starts middle, goes low, and then goes high, and then goes high. It's not really normal. You got rid of that one. Oh shit! That's just freaking me out. Okay. Don't put any fingernails on there. Okay. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it's just got to start low, go high, and go low. You can argue if it's not perfect. And if you say it's not normal, explain why. It didn't start low, it didn't go, it wasn't symmetric enough. That's the kind of thing I need to see. To be normal, it should be symmetric, perfectly symmetric. Roughly normal, it can be a little off. Yes?
Can you give me an example of like those screwed
Oh, yeah.
and how to interpret those?
The mean median mode? Or, yeah.
Where the variance and variability, where is the concentration of data is in what quarter?
Oh, now we're talking about box plots? Or, okay, box plots.
Box plots, interpreting that.
Which problem were you talking about? Was it that, did I sign that BMW problem? Yes? No?
Yeah, that was.
Is that the one? I love that problem. You guys, if I say the BMW problem, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And you're all like, what? Did they have a recall? No, in the homework. Let's see, which one was it? There we go. There we go. Number 89.
He's not talking about that. He's talking about that.
That's useful. There we go. Oh God. Okay. Well, the new system they put in is wonderful. All right. All right, let me see. So here's the pictures. So if you, hopefully most of you guys, this looks familiar. And then questions they ask could get a little bit freaky, but still. So for example, they ask, well, one question is very overarching. They say, compare the 3 box plots. What do they imply about the age of purchasing a BMW between the series? So these are ages of people who bought these type of BMWs. Who has a BMW 350? I got my Honda CV. Be through. All right. Who, the youngest buyers bought what? Okay, we're getting somewhere. See, I mean, start saying something about, when you go to write this down. I'm not necessarily looking for something. There are certain things I'm kind of looking for, but at least give me some idea that you know how to read this. So, older buyers tend to buy. Okay, see, that's something you can say. That's something you can say. You don't have to be prompted. You need to be able to look at this and figure that kind of thing out for yourself and write it down. That's what I can tell from this. Okay, so that kind of problem is just write down what you notice, what you observe. Just like that. Where it gets a little freakier, look at the BMW 5 Series. Which quarter has the smallest spread of data for the BMW 5 Series? So this is the first quarter. This is the second quarter. Okay, so I'll make sure you all realize that's what's happening. Thankfully, they all look normal. They don't have a missing line or something, right? Like that one problem with traveling to countries did. So we don't have that issue. So which quarter has the smallest spread? Second quarter, as far as we can tell. Now, what's interesting about that question, though, and I can't remember if this book... Yeah, it's fine. Is several of these questions have weird answers, or answers you gotta say, I don't know, because, for example, did any 53-year-olds buy a BMW 5 Series? You don't have a clue. You don't know. You don't know. I mean, I really want you guys to understand this. When I give this example, it's an example of like metadata. That sounds like a very government thing. We're only collecting metadata. We're not listening to your phone calls. But it's very high level. I have no idea what the individual values were anymore once I make this box plot. What could be in here? It could all be this. It could all be this. Just 25% of the data was whatever that value is. Maybe a bunch of 48-year-olds, right? I have no idea. Do you guys understand that? I have no idea if a 53-year-old bought any of these cars. I have no idea if a 53-year-old is represented up here. I have no idea. So the way I would answer the question is, this has the smallest spread between its possible values. That's the safe way to answer that question. What actual data values are in here, I have no idea. Okay. I don't know if I just confused the hell out of you. That might be good, because you didn't even know you should be a little confused about that problem. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it must mean the possible spread. So what is the spread? And this you can estimate. What is the spread there? 39, 42, so like 3 years spread, right? Okay, I like it. And of course, it depends on the way you kind of estimate that. Cool. If you say 17, that's a problem. And then they ask you which quarter has the largest spread of data. Well, you can do the same kind of thing. Which quarter has the largest spread of data? The third quarter does. The next quarter over. Oh, here's something. Somebody was asking about this. IQR. That's a great time to lose my voice. What's IQR mean? I quite ran away from inner quartile range. I like it. So that's actually Q3 minus Q1. So the range is high minus low. The interquartile range is one step in. It's the inner range, the Q3 minus Q1. Yes? Sure. I'm probably not going to ask you a question about it, but sure. You can put it down. That's all it is. It's yeah. What percentage of the data would be found between those? Yeah, what visually is it? It's the box. I like it. So that's the spread that's represented by the box up there. I love it. Sweet. Cool. So is there anything I skipped over? It's
So
basically,
that's the 50% of data?
yeah, in the box will always be 50% of the data. I love it.
And in one question it says the possible outlier would be BMW because of skewness.
Oh, which BMW?
3.
I love it.
Because
Exactly.
of
Let me catch everybody up. So, which of these series is most likely to have an outlier? 3 series. Because, like you said, because it's so far away from where you expect. So, where do you expect things to happen? In here. So, an outlier would be far away from that. Right?
So,
Yes.
Explanation of like why justify like why it would be an outlier. Could you just say because it's so far away from?
Yes, because the values could be so far away. The high is so far away from where most of the data is. The high is probably an outlier. Yes. I like it. Did I ever do my children of corn thing? Every time I say outlier, I think about, you ever seen Children of Corn? Outlander. We have your woman. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. One person. I'm cool with that. You love that movie, all right. All right, guys. Yes.
when you go inside those boxes, the variability of data, that's what they're talking about. But you know how mean is closer to quarter one? And that's between quarter two to quarter three, it's just wide open. So what does that mean? What does that mean for me?
What is that related to a question?
Nature of the data.
I don't.
Like,
They
does it
couldn't
have more
possibly.
variability to it, or just
Yeah. The reason they didn't ask a question about that, because none of the questions are related to that, right? But you got a good question. I don't know. Again, like I said, what data is actually in here? They could all be 48-year-olds. I just, like 25% of my data could be 48-year-olds, right? And like maybe one person at 55 or something. Or they could be spread all throughout this box. I know that is a difficult thing for you to understand, but I have no idea what the individual data points are once I graph that box. I have no idea what the data points are.
You mean like where that line ends on 55 and 5 series, that like maybe one of the data points is to be at 55, since that's where
No.
the 25% of data ends?
No. Because you remember, when you calculate a Q2, Q3, do they have to be data points? No. They could be averages between data points. I like it. But it's a good idea. But no. I don't blame you for thinking, but no. It doesn't mean none of the data has been out. Now, the only thing I know for sure is that is a data point, because that's the low. And that is a data point, because that's the high. Other than that, I don't have a clue what the actual data points are. I just know where they tend to be. Yes?
So I have a separate question. To find, or can I do an example just to make it easy?
Sure.
So I have 53 data points, and then I need to find Q1. So 25% of that would be 13.2 something or another, so you round up to 14. And then to find Q3, would you go down 14?
Beautiful.
You can do that?
Totally.
Okay.
I did it in class, I think, and if it doesn't make sense, you can just do 75% to get Q3, but Q3 should be symmetric with Q1.
Right.
Q1, you just go in from the bottom, Q3, you go in from the top.
But when you do 75% of 53, it gives you 39.7 or whatever, so you round up to 40, and that's only 13.
53, 52, I've already done 2. You see what I mean? You didn't count 53. I like it. But I'm with you. I like it. But that's the way you got to think. You got to really, especially even when I say something, you're like, wait a minute, dude, do you know what you're talking about? Yes, I do. But you should always make sure that you understand that it's okay. And that's the thing we forget about is we got to count that number. So it's one more than I thought. Any other questions about anything? How many of you guys have been to the Math Study Center for help already? All right. Is it good? Are you guys getting good help?
Just a long way.
If you are not, you need to say something. Because sometimes there are stats tutors who haven't kept up with their statistics, so they're not like, they don't remember it as well. You got to let the Math Study Center know. Because when I was in charge, I would take them off the stat tutored list and make them recertify through, they have this My Math Lab thing they got to go through to make sure that they actually remember everything. Oh yeah. Sorry. You want your tutor to know their stuff. So if you had a bad experience, please fill out an evaluation form in there. If you had a good experience, do the same thing. Review days are always about what you want to discuss. I have nothing beyond the formula sheet to discuss with you.
So no words on the formula sheet at all, just...
Beautiful. Except maybe the words formula sheet. But beyond that, I don't want to see population, I don't want to see sample, I don't see anything that I could take as being code. Yes. Yes.
How about the way the standard deviation table is set up?
Like we did earlier, the...
Yeah, the x and the x minus x.
Oh, can you put that on your formula sheet? No. Yeah, it's not a formula, so no. Class with, don't put that down. You can say it's a formula, well, it's a formula I want you to know. You should know that one. Right? Okay, cool. And we can stare at each other for a while. So we have more questions. You want to see an example of something? Normally the actual test is at most as long as the practice test. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Normally my tests have like a total of 24 or so questions, like somewhere in there. And when I say that, I'm counting A through whatever. I hate when people say there's 6 questions and they're all like A through J. And I'm like, that's not 6 questions. Do you know math? Yes, ma'am.
The amount of time.
Whole time. You get the whole time. Yeah. You shouldn't need the whole time, but you get the whole time. Yes?
How would you, like, I know you can draw it, but like, how would you explain data skewed to the right?
How would you explain it? Yeah. So you'd say there's a tail that goes to the right. That's the quickest way to like explain it to somebody instead of just drawing a picture. Light. Say again. Sorry. Was that directed towards me? Okay. Talk yourself very loudly. Is he you? Are you guys like? That's weird. We are us. We are I. I am one. I am legion. Yes.
Now, sometimes people be like, oh, explain how you got the question on.
Oh, when you do corrections? No.
Just write the right answer.
Well, show me how you get it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I nowadays people are making people write journals about problems. I don't fully buy into that. I don't know if that helped. No? I just feel like it's just extra crap to pile on top of somebody. I think you know how you feel about it. You don't have to tell me. Anyway. So yeah, on your corrections, just show me the right work and get the right answer, and you'll be good. All right. I love you guys. You're all like, if you're ready for the test, you don't have to stand there and sit there and stare at me. If you have further questions, ask them. You don't need a Scantron. If you have a math teacher that gives a Scantron test, they are not a math teacher. I am not sure what they are. Yes, I just said that. Yes, I just said that. It's not about the answer, it's about the... Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay.
How much